going on, guys? Welcome back to another Tuesday Night Live. So tonight, we got a good show planned. We're going to give you all the juice on Lake Tulloch that a bunch of us has fished last weekend for the first ever inaugural BAM Kayak Series tournament. We're going to have the winner on. Myself fished it. This man joining us right now fished it. Johnny, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
So Johnny fished. And then man of the hour is going to be Kong Moua. We're going to talk to him about all things Bass Nation, the California Bass Nation. Clearlake Open here coming up in June. You guys aren't going to want to miss it. That's our only chance this year to qualify for the national championship, which I'm headed back out there Thursday. Damien and I are headed out to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to have a chance to fish on the national level and do that, guys, this is your opportunity. So we're going to get all the details from the man himself, Mr. Kong Moua.
June the
Good
29th.
afternoon, sir.
Guys, hey, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it. I know
Yeah.
you're a busy
Yeah, no
man. You got a lot of stuff going on your plate, so
I do
appreciate you
with
hopping on.
all the events and everything I'm doing in California. Glad I was able to make
Yeah,
time for you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you
Yeah, no
doing all
problem.
that. Yeah, appreciate you taking
Thanks
care
for
of all that
stepping up
stuff.
and filling that void where we
Yeah.
needed it out here because
For sure.
it's needed.
Yeah, it's a lot of work and it's never thankful. Everybody, you do all that work and everybody
Yeah,
just
right.
complains,
It's one
right?
of them thankless jobs. I hear that all the time for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Yeah, we
Thank you.
appreciate you
Thank
doing
you.
that, man.
So
Thank
you're
you.
doing a few kayak things this year, Kong. You're doing the Bass Open, which we want everybody to join. Let's go ahead and kick off with that one, man. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, so that has kind of been a couple of months in the making. Just a little bit of a background, not too much, but John and I have been talking about that for a couple of months, and then Shane Lamont's kind of background behind it, behind that too. I've been really discreet and just not trying to not say that I'm not trying to hype it up like what we're doing today, but things hadn't been done a certain way, and I felt that it was necessary that I did it the way I felt was best, only because of everything that has kind of happened with it. But I built it up with the idea that, you know, one big event, like how it started, and I've always been a big fan of that. I always like the idea of having that one big event, not only for the numbers, but obviously for the payouts to get it up there where it's like, hey, if you're not willing to come out and fish for a spot to go back east, and come out and try to fish for some of that money. It's a lot of money on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. What's
Yeah.
what's the payout you're projecting right now for that one?
So if I cap, which I think I'm going to cap, there's been a lot of talk about it, just not so much on social media, but from the text messages that I've been getting and the emails, I think we're going to get the numbers right. If I cap at 200 anglers, it's looking like a $10,000 pot, and that includes that's if the winner takes the big fish pot as well.
Nice.
And I'll bring it up on my end really quick, just so I'm not just kind of making things up. But so I got the breakdown at 200 anglers. If I get there, which I'm sure we will, first place taking home $8,000, and if you get that big fish pot to go with it, first place big fish is $2,000 as well. So it's a $10,000 break payout. I'm trying not to share too much, so just bear with me when I'm telling you guys
Yeah.
the numbers look good. All the people watching, just bear with me. The numbers look good on my end. I'm excited for this. I have it broken down where if you go back east, because this is what I do with my guys that fish my California Bass Nation boat side. Whenever guys go back east, we support them financially. Helps with gas, helps with lodging. Anywhere you want to use it, go ahead. My numbers on the kayak event in June is going to pay out to everybody that gets a spot to go back east. So I have it broken down with the top 10% that qualified. You're going to get a little bit of that money, whether it's the $8,000 payout or whether it's $1,000. But it's
Nice.
there, and there's enough money there for sure. We already know that. Where the guys that do qualify for one of the 10% spots, they're going to see a little bit of that money, and it should help them get back east and make it to the national championship.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what's the What's the entry fee for that one, Colin?
That one is 250 all in. I think if I did the math right on my end, that should be enough to cover the Tony X fee, the PayPal fees. We already know about all that stuff. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, it's
Um,
inevitable for sure.
yeah, for sure. Just I mean that was something I had to learn this year. Just jumping kind of into it, and with the local stuff that I've been doing with Bass 559 too. It's just I had to learn about all that stuff because it's inevitable. Um, Trying to work right now about getting decent trophies, at least out to the first, second, and third place finishers. Um,
Those big blue
I'm trying
trophies.
to. I'm working on something, and you know what? I'm just really being cautious right now because I'm trying not to give away too much. Um,
Okay.
you guys
Yeah.
know Taz. Taz and I have been talking. Lake Fork just happened. We saw what happened in Lake Fork. We're working on something that I think it's a first for kayak fishing. I don't know why it's never been talked about, but he called me. He's like, "Hey, this is what I came up with, and I think we should run with it." So, if you guys know Taz, Taz and I have been talking. Taz is my older brother. We got something working out for the Clearlake event as well as something locally as just for just I really think it's a first. So yeah, so it's 250 all in. Going back to that, not to get off topic, 250
You're
all
good.
in. That doesn't include your membership though. Okay, so for the folks who haven't fished any Bass Nation events or anything with California Bass Nation, in order for us to get the insurance through Bass Masters and the Bass Nation, you have to have all these things in order. You have to have your Bassmaster membership, which is separate from the 250. You do that yourself. I believe it's
Yep.
$17 a year. And then once you have that, that allows you to join any nation affiliated state chapter or club. In this case, that's why I went ahead and I created Bass 59 because we needed something there to meet that requirement, not just for what I do here locally, or in the state of California, but in case I get those out of state guys that come in, just so I can have them on my roster and then on my insurance. Ultimately, that's how that works out. So apart from all of that, and then my club dues for this year is $50. Okay, that goes to the nation that buys the insurance, and it protects me, protects the anglers on the water, protects the organization. But yeah, it's 250 all in. Again, everything else is separate. I'll, the 250, like I said, should cover if I did my math right, it should cover that $8,000 first place,
Nice.
$2,000 first place for the big fish. Big fish, right now I'm looking at doing first, second, and third. To be honest, because it's a 1 day event, I think this is not too bad. I'm not a For the people who fish my events. I don't like doing multiple places for big fish. I've had it where somebody catches an 8 on day one, and then somebody catches a 3 on day two, and they get paid the same. So I'm not a fan of
Yeah.
doing multiple places because I feel like it takes so much away from that big fish. Um, but I am doing a 3 place big fish for that Clear Lake event, first, second, and third. And then, like I said, if my numbers are right, then I should be able to pay out the 10%, and everybody who qualifies to go back east should be able to take some money home, or at least help them with the travels. Yep. Am I losing you guys? Am I still good?
No, I'm here. I think James
Okay,
might have
because it got
froze.
quiet.
So yeah. So June the 29th, $250 entry fee. It's going to be a 1 day event. Did Kong just freeze up
Yeah, yeah.
too?
Okay.
There you go.
1 day
One-day
event.
event, and then you're gonna have trophies for top
Hmm.
3, right?
And it
And
could be
big
more.
fish.
It could be more. I'm working. I believe with Dan Hernandez. He's doing all this stuff right now. So we're trying to get that figured out.
Okay.
I want to try to get the contact for the blue trophies, and I really want to give away a blue trophy. You know
Very
what I mean?
good.
Even if the guys are okay with it, even
Right.
if it's super expensive, and I want to give away one, hey, I think it's worth it. It is the biggest event of
Sure.
2024 for the West Coast. Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt. I mean, not to
Yeah.
take away from anything else that's happening. There's a lot of great stuff happening this year. Um, just to mention a few, like the Bass Bash that Zach's doing out there in Nacimiento. That one coming up in May. Um,
Right.
the event on Clear Lake in April with is it the native, the big bass ones? I mean, those are all big events. Those are great stuff, you know what I mean? But I think this Bass Nation one, it's
Right.
probably the event of the year for sure.
Sorry, guys. I lost connection.
Yeah.
I'm back. Hopefully
It's all right,
everything
James.
stayed going.
We got
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah. Everything's
Okay,
going
cool.
well.
I had a question for you on the
So
Bass, the 559 membership. Where can we that so
Oh, so
guys kind of start,
he froze.
pay the $50 now, and then when the tournament
yeah,
comes, gets
so
closer, then we pay the 250 there. That way, it helps guys spread everything out.
yeah, and then I think part of
Right.
it right now is a lot of the anglers are worried that they might not be able to get in. They're like, hey, I know you're capping it. I know there's a lot of hype behind it. I don't want to pay that $50 and not get in. Again, going back to everything I've been doing, guys who know me, I hate to tell someone, no, you can't fish. And the nation struggled for a long time getting boaters because of the whole, oh, the field has to be even, the field has to be even. If you look at any of the boat tournaments I've been doing the last couple of years, I went down to what I call the 50% rule, where hey, as long as no boulder fishes both days by themselves, I will have that offset. I will allow it. So keeping up with the program, bringing that same energy down to the kayak anglers. If I hit 250 anglers that want to fish, or another 50 that want to fish over the cap, why? Who's to say no? I mean, I'm going to open it up. So along the lines
Good.
That's
of what
good.
you just mentioned, because I think that's why most of the concern is I don't want to pay that $50. I don't want to pay your club dues if I can't get in. Or hey, I'm like the Idaho guys or Utah guys, they're all trying to make their plans right now. Don't worry, I will let you fish. I will do everything I need to do, so that it makes sense for myself, so that I can manage the event. It's just that's part of it too. Is it's like it could turn into a monster really quick if with the
Yeah.
amount of anglers right in California and the people that are willing to travel into California. Um, so that's
Right.
kind of why I approached it at 200. But if I hit that and I break it, then let's open it up. So just to follow up, or just to actually answer your question, all of the Bass 559 stuff was on a dedicated Facebook page that, if you guys know, it got shut down, and it's been like 11 days, and I cannot reopen that page. I don't know what Facebook is doing. I don't know who flagged it, but it didn't get shut down for anything I did, because everything on my side is green. It's just there's this thing that says, hey, we were told to look at the page and it's under review. So I don't know what the deal is, but you know, everything that was on that Facebook page, other than the events that I do locally, like the results and stuff like that, the membership, how to join, the emails, the information that I require for the club is on the California Bass Nation website as well. So if you
Okay.
look up, or if you just Google California Bass Nation, I do have a tab there where it says Bass 559, and it's a simple tab, but it gives everybody the information that they need to, or as
Just
far as
join.
what I require, like your name, your address, contact information, Bass member ID number. There's a system that I have with Bassmaster that I can check the roster, make sure memberships are active, and then once you're good to go, I think I'm gonna kind of follow what Michael Bray's doing right now with BAM, because again, I have to be able to manage it. You guys remember, I'm doing this all by myself, so I don't want to open Turning X up and then
Right.
be like, hey, first come, first serve, and then bam, like have it filled up with, let's say I do cap it, right? Have it filled up with less than what I want for California English. Because at the end of the day, it's still kind of about California. So um, with that being said, I
Right.
think I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing with the emails, the contact information, the Bass member ID number, stuff like that. Once you get the green light to sign up, I'll add you manually into Turning X. That way we can just, or I can at least manage it and stay on top of it before it gets too
Okay.
crazy. But yeah, California Bass Nation, I run it solely on a Weebly page. I mean, I do everything myself. I built that Weebly page up, so if you find it, you're going to see the extension, the CaliforniaBassNation.weebly.com. But then if you go there and you click on the Bass 559 tab, it's going to have all of the information for you guys for, the information I require so that I could add you to the roster. So again, hey, if you guys are watching, if you guys watch this live right now or later on, and you're worried that you're not going to get to sign up, or hey, it's going to cap out and I'm not going to make it, don't worry. I'll let everybody fish. Remember, guys, it's 10%. So if we have to take it up to 300 and I get to send 30 guys back east, whatever, man. Let's do it. Who cares?
That'd
That's
be
Why
good.
not?
awesome.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't.
good.
I never.
Yeah.
After jumping into this and doing what I'm doing. I look back and it's not just Bass Nation or I don't get it. Why do these guys get to play gatekeeper? Why do they get to say, hey, only 5 people go or 10 people go when it's 10%? I mean, it's 10% of the state. Who cares? You know, I never understood that. And it goes to the whole, and I'm not trying to talk about it because it's going to get all political, but it's like, hey, everybody talks about how Bass left the West. It's like, that's a two-way street.
Yeah.
You want Bass back?
And
you got to have
exactly.
representation. And if the people in charge are not thinking like that, and they're gatekeeping, like, hey, you know, California's going to send 5 guys. Why not? Why not send 50? Why not tell them that, hey, we still have a presence out here? You know, and I
it's
never
important too. If we qualify, guys, it's important to make the trek, right? I know it's a financial investment to do it, but
it is.
I mean, it's a lifetime experience, right? Like, there's no guarantee I'll be able to go back. That's why I had to jump on the opportunity to do it this coming week. You know,
Sure.
it's not guaranteed, and the memories and the experience of itself is going to be fantastic. You know, I've never fished outside of California yet, so this is a first for me. I'm glad, you know, you're having a platform, and like he's saying, guys, you know, if we don't show up for this event, Bass is going to look at this and be like, well, why would the national opens come back to California if we don't show up for one ran by our Bass Nation, right? So let's not only support Kong and all his efforts and his planning and everything he's doing for us, but we also need to support Bassmaster as a whole, show them that we can show up, guys. We put 185 guys out at Native last year. There's no reason, and that's at New Maloney's, right? I mean, there's no reason we can't trump that at Clearlake. And that place is big. There's plenty of spots for us to fish. There's open launch. You set out an approved launch list, or how's that going to work, Con?
So it's all any open public launch.
Okay.
I'm not going to do the approved list, and I have a reason for that. I think it's not just say that, hey, if you go out and launch, and not to say that I want to DQ anybody, but if there's a launch that you don't know about and the bite is really good there, then that's your fault.
Yeah, that's true.
So I get it. I get it. I like the idea of having an approved launch. Hey, these are the available sites. They did it in the past, but if as an angler, if there's a certain area that you don't know about and it was open the whole time and you just I didn't know I could go out there, or I didn't know there was a ramp there that existed. I'm sorry. I mean, that's
and you know, a lot of those launches too, some of those ones that not a lot of people know about aren't very big. So guys, do your homework, right?
Right.
Are you gonna? I mean, you can't launch off the side of the road, right? We're not doing that whole throw it off the side of the road and it's got to be in a legit launch. Yeah,
legit launch ramp, open public launch that you can pay to get in, whether there's a booth or an iron made or a gate or whatever like that. But if you have to stay there to be able to launch there, then obviously it's not public, unless they do allow public launching. But yeah, we've talked about that. I've ran ideas between my brother, I ran ideas between other anglers, and it's like, you know what? If there's a ramp that this guy just doesn't know about, and it's open and it's public, and the other 5 guys discovered it, hey, good for them. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Right.
Again, not to say that I want to DQ anybody, but like, hey, why are you going out there? If it comes down to that, please ask me. It's as easy as that. Like I did it before for the Lakeport stuff. It's like, hey, I know it's open launch. I'm going out of this. Is it okay? I'm not going to be like, hey, so-and-so's going out of this launch. You know what I mean? It's between you and me. So if it comes down to that and it's questionable or you're just not sure, just ask. It's as easy as that. Just don't let me find out later on. But because I really don't want to DQ anybody, especially for something like that.
Guys, like I said, questionable, ask. He'll get back to you quick, right? He's not going to sit there and ignore you. Don't bombard him with a million questions right now. I mean, you can, I guess. I don't know. He's busy. He's got a tournament he's going to. So, you know, we got months before the event. We'll probably bring Kong back on again as we get closer. And as he's got all the juice, so he's holding back a little bit and all the secrets.
Yeah, I'm trying so hard right now. I'm sorry, guys.
We'll let him spill it in a little bit later date, guys. So, plan accordingly. You know, and let's make it happen. Let's support him. He's doing a ton for us. And not to mention he's doing the Bass 559 tournament where they've got what, 3 left, right?
There's
Two left
two
and
left
then the
and the
TLC.
TLC. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so pay your $50,
So if
go down
anybody,
there,
yeah,
fish some of his tournaments down. They're all pretty much Central Cal area, if I remember right on the
Eastman.
the
The next
post.
they're
two
all
are
It's
going to be at
Eastman.
Eastman.
Yeah, there you
they're
go,
all at
Eastman.
Eastman. They're all at Eastman.
Yeah.
Eastman's kicking out big fish right now.
Everybody go fall around Max and beat up on his big fish. So
Yeah.
get out, that way you guys, I mean, $50, right? Why not fish a couple extra tournaments for your $50
Yeah.
membership? And that way,
Exactly.
you have your membership, your bass membership's paid for, and rip some lips and follow Max around. There ain't
So
nothing wrong
it's
with that.
April the 16th, 15th, 16th, 14th, 15th. When is it?
So it's the double header if Donovan was okay with it, because I spoke to him about that too. That's going to be Saturday, and that will be the collaboration with CVKF, April the
April
13th.
the
13th, Saturday.
April the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, April
that's-
13th was CVKF, and then
And if
also
that's so the 13th event for again, this is Bass 559. So
Yeah,
the 13th
the
event, if
doubleheader.
Donovan's okay with it, that will be the doubleheader with CVKF on
Mhm.
Eastman. And then the May event, I'm moving it forward to that following Sunday.
so it'll be Saturday
if-
and Sunday at Eastman.
It'll be Saturday and Sunday at Eastman, and they're completely separate events. They're not back to back, or they're not
Right.
a 1 and 2 day. You are right. And the 14th
Two
is to make
separate
up
events.
for to make up for the May date because of the day conflict with, I believe, CVKF and Bass.
Right. At McClure.
Yeah, I believe. At McClure,
There's
right,
so
right.
many tournaments going on. It's hard.
And which is fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I was last night, so I'm making it where I'm trying my best. I'm trying to accommodate everybody else. I'm trying to accommodate the anglers. I'm moving my TOC around, and the good thing about it is that hoot owl hours don't apply to kayak anglers. So it's like, okay, well, I mean, unfortunately, you guys are fishing in the summertime, but hey, there's no other boats
Right.
on the water, and I mean,
That's
we
right.
still have a full 8-hour tournament, or we can do an evening deal. It doesn't matter.
Excellent. Anything else, Colin? I know you're prepping for what, Orville, you said?
Yeah, so with everything that I'm doing with California Bass Nation, boat and kayak, Bass 559, it's if whoever's done it before, it's hard to fish as a tournament director. So I'm not going to not fish. So then this year I committed myself to Juan Bass. I'm trying to do the Juan Bass in California. So I ended up doing the Shasta event, and then we got Clearlake coming up in April, and then some of the guys down south, we are fishing the BAM Pro-Am, and that kicks off tomorrow. So went to
Orville.
Shasta, Orville, yeah. Went to Shasta back
Orville.
in January, and we'll be at Orville tomorrow. If
This weekend.
yeah, this weekend practice starts tomorrow. It's Wednesday,
Mhm.
Thursday practice. Tournament starts Friday, Saturday, and then the top 10% fishes on Sunday. And we'll see how I do there. Kind of fumbled at Shasta, but if I think I looked at the points, if I can pull a top 15 or top 17, I should be sitting in the top 20 and still TLC eligible. So
Nice.
looking forward to getting out there. I mean, the weather is crazy. I mean,
Yeah, you're gonna have those fish looking for the pre-spawners going up, getting ready to look.
Yeah, the storm just passed through. It rained last night. It rained today. We're going to 80-degree temperature in a 3-day span. So it's either going to be really good or it's just going to spin them out. But we'll see. Yep. So I'm doing BAM. And that's gonna, whether I continue. I'm pushing it. I think Lassane and Bray's doing a good deal with trying to feel like not avoid, but trying to do something else that's different. So I'm trying to support them with the whole Bass Angler magazine to a Pro-Am or the kayak side. But we'll see how I do. I mean, I want to fish all year, but if the points aren't there, then it's just, as an angler, it just doesn't make sense to keep fishing. But yeah, getting ready for that, and hopefully I can either take off tonight after this deal, or if I have to, I'll probably leave tomorrow morning.
Right on.
Good
Well, I
luck
won't
this
take up any
weekend.
more of your time. Good luck.
Yeah,
And
good
thank
luck.
you for what you're doing, Kong. We appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll let you get packed up and on the road. And guys, we're gonna let Kong go, and we're gonna bring in a familiar face. That's all I gotta say.
Thanks for
Yeah.
All right,
coming
thanks,
in,
Kong.
Tom. Appreciate
James,
you, man.
John, thank you. Before I go, like I said, believe me when I say I don't want to tell anybody no. If you're worried that you're not gonna get to fish, don't be. I will lift that cap if I have to. Okay, so
Very good.
Excellent.
for the out of state guys, whoever's watching, make your plans. Okay, there's gonna be enough time for practice. I'm gonna make it as fair as I can for the guys that live on the lake versus the guys that are coming in from 2 states away.
Is there
I'm
an off
setting it up.
limits?
There's gonna be an off limits, yes.
What
There's gonna be an
what
off
are
limits.
what are the
I'm
dates for
looking
that?
I'm looking at official like practice week. I'm hoping I can set it up like how we used to fish our Western events. Um, so it's gonna be, if anything, it would be the week of. Okay, so
The week of. So Monday would kick off. You can go to practice.
right, that way for the guys coming in on the weekend, hey, you get everybody gets a fair shot at it. You know what I mean? So
Perfect.
I'll set it up. That was the other part. I think other than like, hey, if I don't want to pay my membership if I can't fish. Other than that, I think the next most asked question was like, hey, what's the deal with off limits? Because if I'm coming in from another state, like I want to be able to get there and have enough
I want to
practice.
go to Clear Lake for 5 days and rip all those lips. All right.
That's right.
I wanna go there for
Yeah,
a couple-
well, yeah, exactly. So it's looking like that's the way it's heading. I believe me, I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna take everything I've learned throughout the years. Fished all over the U.S. And I'm trying to take everything good that I've seen, and I just hopefully it's a good event. And if not, then we'll learn from it, and then we'll do it next year, and we'll keep doing this as long as I can maintain it. So
Very good.
again, John, thanks for having me. James, thanks
Kong,
for
thank you. Appreciate
having me.
you,
I
Thanks,
appreciate
man. We appreciate it. Like I
Yeah,
said, guys,
looking
we'll get them
forward to
on.
it.
We'll get them on as we get closer. We
Yeah,
just
a
wanted
couple more
to
times. Yeah.
put this in
Start
your
talking
mind,
about
guys.
it. Yeah.
Start prepping. Start paying your memberships. Your Bass membership, Bassmaster membership, your Bass 559 membership,
For 2 days.
and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Colin, good luck this
Thank
weekend
you.
up at Oroville.
Yeah,
I
good luck
appreciate
this
it, bud.
weekend.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, cool.
Post a lot
Talk
of
to you
big
later.
fish on the internet
Oh,
so
yeah.
we can see how you're doing.
Everything's on Facebook. Hey,
All right.
that's my. It's just Kong Moua. If anybody wants to come and add me on Facebook, I post as much as I can for everything with California Bass Nation, Bass 559, the stuff I do with Juan Bass and BAM, and not strictly fishing. I do some stuff. It's still my personal Facebook page, but if you want to follow me or if you guys want to add me, come and find me on Facebook.
Excellent.
Very good.
Guys, Kong Moua on Facebook. Adam, and keep tabs on what's going on with the California Bass Nation. All right, Colin. Have a good evening.
Right.
Safe travels,
All right,
bud.
bro.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah.
Later.
Safe
You guys
travels.
have a good night.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
Yeah,
A
I gotta
familiar
say
face.
something to Wah Ming
Familiar
and
face.
Kong.
What's that?
Oh, Wah Ming and Kong.
No.
Just want to say hello.
No. Yeah.
And
All
Chris.
right. Here we go. Here's this guy
There he
again,
is.
What's up, guys?
Mr. the Juice himself, Joey Silva. What's up, buddy?
How's it going? Hey, John.
Good.
How you
Hey, how's it
doing, man?
going?
So,
Good to-
Joey,
feels
if
like I
you
was just
don't
on
know,
this thing.
yeah, he's beating up everybody out there on the water, right? He's got a third at Rollins.
Yeah,
Right?
right there. I got the three. There's only my
There
only
you
three
go.
plaques.
All right, behind.
but
Oh,
they all came
he's
from
starting to. Yeah, here we go. So then
There
he
you
finished first at
Yeah,
Oroville.
I'm proud of display him, man. Never had any
Yeah.
before, so yeah.
You
And
got
then
to
he kicked our
change
butts
that
this
mid
weekend.
strolling. You got to change that mid strolling to um,
Joey catches fish and win.
no. What am I thinking of? Instead of mid strolling, your
The Mickey rigging?
no forward facing. What do they call that? I threw a blank.
Oh,
My bad.
like a technique
Beginning
or
fishing.
Oh,
What are you
scoping.
talking about, John?
Instead of
Scoping.
saying
Scoping.
mid-strolling, say you're scoping.
Scoping, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
scoping.
Scoping.
I need to
Scoping
start
Joey.
using the
That's
words
the
so
word
people don't think I'm a
nowadays.
one-trick pony, which
Yeah.
it's been a one-trick pony so far.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
don't say mid-strolling, say
Oh.
scoping. Caught him
yeah,
scoping.
Yeah.
caught him scoping. Caught him.
Well, everybody gets all up and pissed off when they hear about people scoping. You know,
Scoping.
it's like, what kind
I
of
ain't
Yeah,
gonna
if you want
lie.
to be
I look like
polarizing, to say that word.
yeah. Well, what's the difference between looking down at a 2D or down at a forward facing? And one's live and one already happened. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one you
I
have to
think I'd
turn the
rather
boat
have the live.
around and then cast at them, right? That's the only difference.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. Most of my fish are from scoping.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a
Yeah.
thing, guys. It happens. It's a
Yeah,
tool.
scoping.
It's a tool,
Yeah.
and it works.
It's a good tool. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I think
a
live,
great
most of us
tool,
have
right?
it at this point,
Yeah.
for sure.
But
But-
so Joey came in first. John, came in seven?
6.
Six.
Yeah, 6. And you came in
Joey
second.
kicked my butt by about
Yeah.
4 inches in second.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Um,
It sounds like you
yeah,
had
no.
you almost had a shot there at taking the crown.
There was I dumped. It's a fish story because I didn't get it on the board, but I dumped a good one. I don't
Yeah.
know. It was close to being what I needed. But I started the day off with almost 6-pounder, so I can't complain.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think I started my day with that 19, which it felt pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. It took
Yeah.
about an hour, but that was my first fish. It was a 19.25.
Yeah, my first fish was a 14 1/4, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
That
that's
was
a
my
start.
last fish,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, good time
Oh,
though. The
yeah, so
band put on
fishing
a
is
good
now
tournament
hunting.
too, right?
Hey, you know what, buddy? If you go hunting, you're not always guaranteed to shoot something either. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Actually,
But
fishing's
anyway.
always been hunting to me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. since day
Joey,
one.
you're
Tell us how you
scoping, mid strolling.
scoping.
What?
Scoping.
Give us. I won't ask you locations, which you kind of did spill some on John's article. So if you
Yeah, I
all want to
wrote
read
word for
that,
word.
No, I'll give it. Yeah, I
go
got nothing to hide.
to
I'll share it all,
Western
man.
Bass. Right, there's only one spot on the lake that's like that. You're gonna know right where he was at. So
Yeah.
Joey,
we
give
know
us
where
what
you
you
were
want to
at.
give us.
Well,
I was
I
in the
think
water.
what was it, Yakabas that was there last year at Lake Tulloch?
Yeah.
I think that it was
Yeah.
Yakabas, yeah. So I fished it before. I think I placed 8th in that one. So I had a little bit of history with that lake and some spots that I liked. I did really well on those bridge pilings last year. And so I don't like fishing like history, but I was going to stop at those places on my way and then work my way up a creek arm. So I started off, I shot up there. I was scoping with the bridge pilings. Didn't really find anything. Kind of made that turn going towards the bridge. And the lake kind of flattens out right there. And there were schools of bass roaming right there, but they were like 14-inch, 15-inch fish. So I kept going after casting at them. So I went to the bridge, and then along that rock wall, when you go past all the pilings, that one rock wall right there was like maybe 4 or 5 fish that I could see on live scope. And I casted a Sakamata shad on a 1/8 tungsten jig head and dropped it over their face, twitch. They all came up, and it looked like the biggest one took it. And then I set the hook, and it was a great way to start the day.
Yeah.
Followed up with a couple more casts, and they were real finicky after that. It wasn't like the bite was on or anything. They shut off pretty quick. But yeah, that's how the day started.
So
Back there in April for the Gambler Series. So
it's
let's
gonna be
go
different.
Yeah,
all
good
your
point. I
spots.
didn't
So
think about that.
that way they go to you and stay
hopefully
away
they'll
from
move.
where I was.
Yeah.
So
But,
you had a little twist. You were saying you had a little twist, and the twist was
Yeah,
You want
so
a different low
traditionally I
rig.
use a mid stroll with like 4-pound line and like a 1/0 hook or even like a size 1 hook. Like real finesse 3-inch bait, and that's how I won Oroville, and that's how I did well at Rollins. I actually upgraded to 20-pound braid from 10-pound braid as my main line, and then to 16-pound leader line from 4-pound leader line. And the reason I did that was so that I can upgrade to a size 3/0 hook. and then a larger bait. And then kind of like, here, I got him here.
So what made you decide to go larger bait? You know, the fish in Tulloch are big. Is that why you decided, or what?
Yeah,
What?
because so the fish were bigger, but I've been kind of experimenting with that rig after watching. For those of you guys that don't watch the Elite Series, there's an angler called Koya Fujita, and he's known as being like a really good live scoper. And he does something really unique where he actually uses 30-pound braid to 16-pound leader, and he uses a medium light rod, and it's the same bait that I use. And when he sets a hook, he jacks them on a medium light, like it's a 6.6 medium light rod with this crazy braid. And it's the weirdest thing, and I had to try it. And I brought it to my home lake of Lake Sonoma, which is traditionally like a really pressured lake. There's really not a lot of fish. It doesn't have that great of a reputation here. And I was hooking big ones here. And I took it to some ponds and hooking big ones. And it just, the bait that he uses that I'm about to show, it gets a reaction out of these fish. And they don't seem to care about the leader line size, which is, it took me a while to get over that mental hump, but they don't seem to care.
Yeah. I think
But yeah, let me show
a
you.
bigger line for me would have definitely helped. I don't know if it would have hindered the bite, but definitely would have helped being able to jack them a little bit harder.
Yeah, and I've
keep
had that
them
happen too with that one-out hook where I'll get it to the boat, and then if it goes to the top of the mouth, it'll only have like half the hook inside, or it won't even pass the barb. And I've lost fish that way. But
Yeah.
this is the bait I was using. It's a 5-inch Sakamata shad. And in comparison to the one that I used at Oroville, it's a lot bigger. Like a lot bigger. And it has more meat to it too. So when you have this thing in the water,
faster too? It
What's
sinks
that?
a little faster too, does it? Sinks a
a
little
lot
faster
faster,
too.
yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
They
And
don't float; they actually sink.
yeah, they don't flow.
Right?
It's not like a Lastech or anything like that where it tends to
Right.
stay higher up. But when you work it properly and you get that roll that you want when you're mid strolling, it has so much body to it that it kind of like does like a wave thing in the water. And I think that's what triggers them, because that's the only thing I can think of. But it has a really unique action when you get that twitch right.
Yeah,
But
it's like a shimmy.
yeah,
shimmies.
yeah, it's like a shimmy. But you don't get that action with the small bait. You get a roll out of the small bait, but with that big one, you kind of
Right.
get like an
Yeah, like a
8-figure kind of
shimmy.
thing going.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah.
So did your bite shut off early morning, like 9
10:30.
o'clock ish?
It
Or did you have
seemed
a good
like it
bite
did.
window?
It seemed like it did, but the thing is I didn't fish that rock wall very long. I kind of I moved on to that creek arm for the next like 3 hours. And then so I couldn't tell really if it was the weather or if it was that I changed locations for where the bite stopped for me.
I
But
gotcha.
when the wind picked up, yeah, I hooked another 18-inch bass. So I think it was wind related for me.
See, I lost that one when the wind picked up. Everything else I caught one on a drop shot, just randomly saw it. That was my 5th fish, that 14 and a
Nice.
quarter, which I I had it sitting there, it was tangled up in another rod I had laying there, and I'm like, it's a little fish, whatever, and I get it out. I'm like, oh crap, that was actually a lot better than I thought it was, But yeah, dude, I mean my 4 bigger fish by 8:30 that they shut off, and there's plenty to go around where I was at, and they just
Yeah.
they hunkered back down to the bottom. Your bigger fish, you notice they were deeper, or were they shallower at that part of the lake?
I had one that I remember when I got off that rock wall and I turned into that creek. I saw on scope, there was a fish on the bottom down 20 feet down, and I casted at it, and it came up like a rocket and just came all the way up like completely vertical and just hammered it. And that was another 18-inch fich.
Isn't that
So
awesome?
Yeah, I noticed.
yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah, I had
He was
I had
just
the
off
similar
by
thing.
himself way at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was throwing a tactical underspin, and I was on top of this point rock pile, and I had a little one bite. I set the hook, I missed it. I'm like, whatever. I let it fall back down, and slowly started creeping it up in the water column a little bit, and the fish were following it, and it was right about to the kayak. Click the bail open, let that thing fall, and all of a sudden 4 giant marks just come shooting off the bottom in about 20,
Yeah.
22 feet of water.
Yeah.
And that was the second 20 I caught. And he came up and just obliterated that thing when he saw it. That was pretty cool
Yeah.
watching that.
Yeah, it seemed
yeah.
like they wanted it like a certain way. I noticed, like when I throw at the rock wall, like they were kind of finicky with it on the like not the first one, but the second one. If the bait was like here and they were approaching it this way, they'd kind of stare it down. But if you can get on top of their head, like that 20-foot water one, they'd come straight up and they'd come up faster and they'd hit it harder. So they seemed to want it at a certain angle. At least that was a guess that I had. But
Yeah, I had some hit it. They followed it, get right past them. They would pass them and they'd hit it. Other times they just sit there and look at it and stare at it the whole way. And you're like, come on, man. Like, just bite it.
Yeah.
But
like I felt like I had obviously I had a good fishing day. Like I had some quality fish in there. But I looked at so many fish that just didn't care for my baits all day long and just kept casting, looking at marks, and they just weren't interested at all. It was, for me, it was like a numbers deal.
That was 10:30 on for me. I could not, except for the one I lost, I could not buy a bite to save my life. And I saw so many fish. I even went back to where I caught all my bigger fish at, and they hunkered down on the bottom somewhere. I couldn't find them again. I couldn't get them back up off the bottom to start playing with them. So I went scrambling.
Yeah, for me, when the bite died, I caught a few roaming, like out in the middle of nowhere, and I kind of like I stood on that for like the last 2 hours, I think, was just looking for roaming fish because they seemed to bite more than the ones that were I could see on the wall. Or
I'd hit some coming up because you'd see them come up, up the point, and they're up, suspended. I'd cast out. I think most of those were trout because they'd hit the water and they gone.
Yeah, trout.
The trout were fast. Like I would throw at marks, and if they were like 15 feet away from my bait by the time it got there, where usually I'm on top of them, I'm like, that was the trout. They're fast.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where I was looking at them. I'm like, that's probably another trout. Do I want to make a cast at it?
Yeah.
I haven't quite deciphered bass and trout on the live scope yet. Depending upon the angles, you know what I mean. Sometimes you can tell. Sometimes you just see the blob.
Yeah, even the like the elite anglers do it. Like Koya catches giant crappie all the time.
Oh yeah.
So even the pros make that mistake too.
Yeah. So right on, man. Anything else you want to spill? Give out all your secrets. That way they follow you around in April and leave me alone.
Yeah. No, I mean,
April could be a little different.
That was it. That was like the twist. I felt like that was a big deal.
Yeah.
But
and honestly, the bigger fish were deeper. I mean, both 20s I caught were in 20, 22 feet of water. The 16s were in about 14 feet of water I caught, and then that last one, that 14-incher, was dirt shallow. But then the one I did dump was dirt shallow, but a different part of where I was at, different setup and everything. The wind was blowing up onto a point and leading into a pocket, and that's where that one was sitting.
Were you fishing? Where were you fishing, James?
I was fishing in the water. I was up Black Creek. I can't hide it. Plenty of people saw me. I was up I was in Black Creek. So
okay. So you had success in the creek then, because I went up and I tried it and I couldn't get anything of quality.
I'm not going to specify what part of the creek I was in, but I was in Black Creek.
Gotcha.
Because those fish are going to be sliding up from where they're at.
I need
guys,
to
you got any questions for Joey?
Bolster some of this information.
Good. Comment, drop a question for Joey. We got plenty of you guys on here.
Yeah, I got to say one thing.
I caught. Actually, you know what? Go ahead, John.
All my big fish came in less than 10 feet of water, closer to 5.
Did they?
Right?
Oh, wow.
Really?
3 of them that were good. I had one come off, but all my, like the 14s, they came out in like 20 feet of water. So my fish were just the opposite of you guys.
That's
I was
funny.
fishing a little differently, obviously. And also fishing a flatter
What were you
banks
catching
and
them on,
stuff,
Johnny?
but main lake stuff. Yeah. I caught them all shaking a worm. Shaky head.
Okay. See, man, I tried cranking dude.
Yeah.
I wanted to get on a crank bite so bad, spinnerbait bite. I was throwing the wobble head, thinking, that 10 to 15 foot range of the wobble head, keep it moving. Dude, I tried and tried and tried. I wanted to catch something on a bait caster last weekend, and you know what? I didn't get it to do it. Heartbroken. Throw an A-rig out there, they go.
So
They go.
Chris was asking what I'm getting him on.
So,
I was getting him on
yeah, Chris.
Sakamata shed. I don't know if I showed all three. These are the three
Hover
colors.
strolling, mid strolling, whatever you want to call it.
Scoping. Yeah.
Scoping.
Scoping. Robert,
But,
he was in Black Creek trying to
I
find.
wanted to show the difference in the size that I use at Oroville versus the size I was using at Tulloch. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Hold them up a little higher, Joey. There you go. And those we said were the football heads from
Yeah, this one's from Kitech. This one's from
yeah.
Owner.
Robert,
But yeah.
you can't miss me on the water, bud. If you saw me, I'm stick out like a sore
I'd
thumb
much
on the water.
rather
now
go
than
with that
boat.
3-aught hook. Definitely that 3-aught
Yeah.
hook. Even with those spots, I'd rather have that.
It was so
And
much.
then
small hook.
It's so much more fun
Yeah.
too. Like I like
Yeah.
the 4-pound test, but like you kind of lean into them. With these, you jack them like it's a casting rod. It's so much more fun.
Yeah.
And
I think I'm gonna stick to this.
The bait I was catching them on, I've not thrown that size on my spinning rods yet, which I know it's a cardinal sin to do something new, but I throw heavier ones on my bait casters all the time. And that was one thing I noticed is light line. It's a 2-aught hook, but it's just enough to where you got to put some into it. And if you got your set and drag set just a little loose from fighting the fish before, run a 6-pound line, you don't want to overpower them. That was my downfall, So kudos to you for experimenting prior to
you
the
watch.
tournament.
They're going to come out with those tungsten weights, the ball heads. They're going to come out the 3/4 ounce ones just for this scoping. The fish are down 50 feet of water or whatever. Yeah. You'll have
that's
come
heavy.
out with some new stuff. You watch. It's not going to be 1/8 ounce. It's going to be you're going to have like 3/4 ounce or 1 ounce heads.
I just bought the Kitech 3/8 ounce just for that reason.
Right.
But still, I think it's still going to take some time to get down to 40 feet.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
And you want to get down right now too. When you see that fish, you basically only have a few minutes, just sometimes seconds to get it for the fish to eat it. And as soon as you see it too, they're swimming either away from you or towards you.
That was my problem. I was throwing an 1/8 ounce, and I'm trying to target something, but they wanted it. So I didn't want to mess with it. 1/8 ounce takes a while to get down 20 feet.
Yeah.
Do you have
that range roller I showed just like a
1/32
or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried the light stuff, man. I just don't have the patience for it. So I put on a ball head.
But they were eating it, John. They were eating it. And the funny thing is, I gave AJ won the giveaway the other week, and I handed him a bag of baits. So I said, "Hey, you better not win this thing with these baits." And I handed him this. It was the 1/8 ounce screwball head. He had a bag of them in his bag. I go, "Did you throw it?" He goes, "No, I didn't even open them."
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about the screwball heads.
It's an awesome bait. It's a
good bait for suspended fish. You bet.
Yeah, what brand is that?
Ed's lead. It's Jason Austin's dad. He's the one that makes them, and he sells them up at Hooked, up in Ione. And it's basically a ball head meets Yokoshira head, but it's got a much bigger prop. And it's got a bigger hook, and he makes them from 1/8 ounce all the way to 1/4 ounce. So you're not.
Is it like
super light.
the Okashira head, or is that the Megabass one that has the propeller in the front?
Yes. Yeah. But it's a much bigger. It's a 2/aught hook, and the prop on it is a lot bigger than the Megabass ones.
Yeah, that's cool.
So they move some water, and it's that different. You're throwing an underspin. It's the same. Everybody throws an underspin. I'm not saying everybody. A lot of people throw an underspin. So it has that, they have that same water movement vibration. I just think that bigger prop on that ball head just gives it a little bit different vibration that those fish really haven't seen too much, But yeah, it's
sometimes
awesome
a little flash drives them crazy too, like just a little bit.
And that's the funny thing is I was throwing the underspin a lot, and Granted, it was a 1/4 ounce underspin. I did catch one on it, but they wanted that little prop blade, hands down, hands down. So, guys, when I get back from Oklahoma, I will give away some 1/8 ounce head sleds. So, I don't know where I'll see you at or how I'll get them to you, but go ahead and hashtag up Ed's Lead, and we'll have Joey pick a winner here. He has a couple minutes to put it in there. But yeah, it's awesome bait. And you can drag them on the bottom. It's gonna do the same thing like an underspin dragging on the bottom. You don't have to fish it up in the water column. It's just when it is in that spot, it's awesome. So I went
You want me
up,
to pick
picked
somebody?
up a whole. No, I gotta wait for these guys put their hashtags in.
There's a hashtag.
I picked up a ton of them from Ed yesterday. He hooked me up big time for my trip. So I don't know if I'm gonna burn through them all. If I burn through what he gave me, I'll get you some other ones. Don't worry. But
So Joey, where are you fishing at next?
I'll be up at Pardee this weekend for the
All right,
Gambler
cool.
Series.
I'll see you there.
Yeah.
everybody
like
go
Pardee,
up the
too.
river. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. James, you did well there last year, if I remember right.
I did.
Yeah. Did
That
you
was
win
my
it?
first tournament I ever won. Yep. I was first. My
Nice.
first win was at Pardee last year.
Yep.
And
And
unfortunately,
I think I remember I heard what you were doing through Boat Talk. But
I was
it makes
throwing a
sense.
jig.
65 feet
A
of
jig.
water.
I was throwing. John did an article on it, right? I was throwing 3/4 ounce Ed's Lead football
Okay.
head with a
35 to 65 feet.
what was it? It was a
Yamamoto twin tail
No, the hula grub.
hula grub.
Hula grub on a 3/4 ounce Ed's Lead in 30 to 65 feet of water. From what I hear,
Off
when we
end of
talked to
the
Jay off the end of the point. Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have figured? Weather's different now, guys. They're not going to be in 35 to 65 feet of water.
They're not going to be that.
They're
deep.
not going to be there. Don't look, right? What are we hashtagging for if you want to win some baits? Hashtag Ed's Lead.
Shout out to my aunt who's in the chat.
What's up,
Last
Ewan?
time I was in,
Yep.
my grandma was in there.
Headwaters. I
He was
mean,
in there
you
again.
guys hashtag Headwaters anyway, because guys, this is for Brian, right? He asked me to do this. It's just a bunch of us rambling on, talking nonsense and fishing. But no, for the giveaway, it's Ed's Lead, Chris. Brian is going to be at another Reading Sportsman show. I don't remember the dates. I think it's in April. And there's some, yeah. So, but guys, don't forget to support Brian. Chris
At
can't hear me.
Headwaters
Can
and
everybody
Reading.
else hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
we can hear
Now
you.
they're all
I
hashtag Headwaters.
I try on Facebook. I try to share their website. So if you want to order something, just look under John Myers and look for Headwaters. You can order stuff
Yep.
online through them.
Guys, they will ship anything, kayaks included. If they don't have it on their website, call Brian. He could probably find it for you.
Yeah.
They don't carry the graphs and whatnot, but he does have distributors
Contact.
or other places
Yeah.
he can get to get graphs. If you guys want to fully
Mhm.
rig your boat out, they can get it. Brian
They can rig
does
it
a
out too if you
fantastic
want.
job rigging. Yeah,
Yeah.
he can rig it.
Mhm.
I don't know if he's going to ship a rigged kayak. That would be something you got to call him and ask
Probably
him.
not.
Probably to
Yeah.
the plastic and all that stuff. So, but he will ship new kayaks to you. They had shirts on the website last time I looked. If you want to get a Headwater shirt, I mean, all your Yak Attack stuff, all that nonsense, it's there. They'll ship it. We can drop a.
They got tackle
guys,
there too. So.
They have tackle there. When you guys are up there, I think he'll ship some of it too. He'll ship it. He shipped it to me before. But don't forget to support those that support us. Brian has been in this kayak community forever, and Headwaters has always supported us. And not to mention, guys, their customer service. I'm not always saying this because I'm part of the team. They are my title sponsor. Before any of all that ever happened, my first ever live tournament I ever did, I was a nobody, and they went way above and beyond to make sure that my kayak was fixed from the warranty issue, and I was on the water to fish that tournament. And they didn't have to do it. That was before Brian and I really knew each other real well at all. I'd bought a boat from him, and that was probably the only time I ever talked to the guy before that happened. So they have our best interest
Customer
in mind.
service,
So
yeah.
support them.
Great
Yeah.
customer service.
By
I bought
far,
my Hobie links through them, and it was great. Like they talked to me about it the whole time, and ended up
Yeah.
walking away with it. So yeah,
they were by
good people.
far the best customer support I've ever experienced from a small
Yeah.
business, a large business, any business. So guys, anyway, let's go ahead. We got a bunch of hashtag headwaters and Ed's led. Uh-oh. What did I do? Okay, I try to leave again. Let's see here. We got 1, 2, 3. We'll go 4, 5, 6. 6 of y'all. There's whatever. Everybody started leaving. Anyway, pick a number between 1 through 6, Joey. Well, we got Chris. No, you already did half water head. I counted you already.
All right, how about number 4? It's my favorite number.
1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go Robert Yamamoto. Robert,
There you go.
are you fishing native? Yes or no? Tell me if you're fishing native at Clearlake. If you're still there, Robert. We'll see.
Give him a minute. Yeah.
If not,
So Joey, where do you buy those baits from?
Oh, I buy them from the hookuptackle.com when they're in stock.
Okay.
And
when they're in stock.
And they're like $11 a
Yeah.
pack, and they rip it immediately on the first bite.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
He's not allowed to
Yeah.
fish anymore. Robert, hit me up, bud. But I have friends, LOL. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Croco Outdoors on YouTube and Instagram. I think add me as a friend on Facebook, whatever. Figure it out. We'll figure it out. And I'll find a way to get them to you, bud. But it'll be after I get back from Oklahoma because I got to make sure you got enough. Anyway,
And
guys,
when you coming back?
I'm back. I don't remember, John. I'm gone for a while. But
April.
we're gonna attempt to do a show next week from Oklahoma live. It's gonna be the night before our tournament. It'll be if I can keep track of everything, John's gonna send me a text message. He's probably gonna call me every 5 hours out there. He's gonna let me know who won
Every 3
party.
hours.
We're gonna get the winner party
Okay.
on here, I promise, as long as I have the time to do it and the internet and it doesn't interfere with the captain's meeting, which I think it's gonna be about 8 o'clock back there. So I hope it does not. But we'll jump on for
9 o'clock.
We'll jump on for a little bit. It might be late, it might be early, it might be whenever. I don't know yet. Guys, thanks for checking this one out. I appreciate Kong Moua for coming on and giving us all the goods on the Bass Open. It's going to be a wild one, Clear Lake, June. Fun. Hopefully it's got some grass this year. Hopefully there's a frog bite. Hopefully there's a punch bite this year. We don't know yet.
There will be.
And we'll catch you all next week.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations, Joey, too.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it. Thanks, guys.
Congrats, Joey. Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
good luck
stop
out
doing
there.
this.
Yeah.
All right, I got to have a different guest on every once in a while. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe next week. But
Maybe
good
next
luck
week.
out there.
Yeah.
I want to see you guys on stage.
Yeah. Good
I'll be
luck
following.
back east.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I'll be calling you, Damien.
Yeah, I know. All right, y'all. We'll